It's made it a lot more fun to learn. It makes you feel like there's always an upside if you're a kid who doesn't enjoy school.
We learn about history, but we have fun. We're not just sitting in class and we're just sitting down and just listening and listening.
Well, I love the activities from History Hunters because it's like something you could do for fun, but it's also something that helps you learn. And sometimes you're learning something and doing something fun, but you don't even realize that you're learning something. You're just having fun, and that's all that comes to your mind.
These schools are often underserved in that for some of these kids, this is a bulk of their history curriculum over the course of the year. Without this, they would not get much history at all.
But while teaching it through the History Hunter program, it encourages students to learn about history. And Philadelphia, I mean, we have so much history in our own backyard.
I get to see like what they did in the house and not just know that it was like a house, like you get to know the purpose of the house and stuff.
I think that they get inspired by the human element, so it's a way of taking history and making it something that's more about humans and human lives and the things that they've experienced rather than simply dates or events or names.
There are 5 sites we do with History Hunters. The first, Stenton, has a focus on the colonial era. The second, Cliveden, is where we talk about the American Revolution. Our third site is the LaSalle Art Museum. The central figure we talk about there is Charles Wilson Peale, who's of the early Federal era. The Johnson House is where we talk about slavery and the Underground Railroad. And then our last house, Wick, kind of wraps it all up in a bow.
This is our last trip, and now we're doing family genealogy, and that kind of brings it all together. It just kind of sums up the things that we've learned throughout the year in the History Hunters.
I think the curriculum is great. It gives you enough background before you come to the trips, but it's got activities that you can use with any level of child.
I love the workbooks that they work in, that they're able to jot and put their information in.
I teach literacy and writing through the History Hunters.
One of the benefits of getting them out of the classroom is there's more opportunities for visual learners, auditory. They can touch things, they can smell things. We're smelling rose water just in the garden there. And they taste things, they're making the tea. So there are a lot of sort of different avenues for inquiry here and that can appeal to a bunch of different students.
They explained everything, and like we got to know more about the people who lived here.
I think honestly the trips are the best because like you get to see everything in person. Like everything that you read about comes alive when you go on the trips, and I think it's really so much fun to like see the stuff you've been reading about for so long in real life.
History Hunters pays for the bus, it pays for the guides, it pays for admission to the house. So the schools that we're especially focused on, they don't pay anything for the program at all.
I would not be able to bring my students if it was not fully subsidized because probably more than 3/4 of my class receive free or reduced lunches, and getting money for them to bring in for trips just is a very hard thing to do.
It's a huge financial undertaking, writing these workbooks, getting these tour guides, and it really is amazing. Like, I'm so grateful that people have come together and contributed the money to be able to make this happen, and it makes a huge difference in the lives of these kids. Like, these kids are now going to be, they think of themselves as historians.
The impact of the History Hunters program has been amazing. To see 30 children want to dress up, and traipse through historical Philadelphia is amazing. They do prep work. In preparation for each trip, they study. And then, as our tour leader today has said, they sometimes surpass what she even knows or is ready to teach them.
I just fell in love with the program. It brings history to life. It's amazing how much the kids remember and how much they now love history.
It would be very sad if it didn't continue. It would be very sad.
They helped us learn more and more about history and what history really has to do with what our time is now.
So the fact that my son, who's 10 now, has a chance to explore it and learn about what's going on here in Philadelphia was just awesome.
It invigorates their curiosity to everywhere, so that wherever we go, from the root of this program has impacted how they see the world.
I want to be a historian. That'd be cool.